All right, step-by-step instructions for removing collections from your credit report. Greetings, my name is Gemini. I have repaired my credit about 13 years ago. Over the last few years, I have helped several people repair their credit and later turned it into a business. Full disclaimer, I do not give financial advice or legal advice. This is strictly for educational purposes. Let's jump right into it. This is all about removing the collections from your credit report or consumer report. Let's start with what a collection is. A collection on your credit report refers to an unpaid debt your creditor has flagged in their system, or they have passed along the debt to a third party collection agency to chase you for the money that you owe on their behalf. Creditors usually send a missed payment to collection once it's been delinquent for 90 days. So you don't have to worry about collections if your payment is just a few days late. However, if the debt lands in collections, the consequences for the credit score can be affected. Also know that collections can remain on your consumer report for up to 7 years, regardless. Remember, regardless if you pay it or not, it can still sit there for 7 years. All right, step one, pull your consumer report or credit report. You can do this by going to Experian.com, MyFreeScoreNow.com, IdentityIQ.com. These are sites I recommend because they show more detail than necessarily a Credit Karma. I wouldn't necessarily use Credit Karma. You need to see all three bureaus at once, side by side, so you can compare the amounts, the dates, the collection remarks, and any other information on the reports. You want to look for the differences so you can pick out what you need to dispute. So write down the collection company's name, the addresses, the accounts. Information that may be incorrect or that you can dispute is incorrect phone numbers, address, names, accounts belonging to someone else with the same name, accounts that are wrongly show a late or delinquency, accounts with an incorrect credit limit or credit balance, delinquent information period, or even duplicate information where two accounts appear on your report that are pretty much the same, and also maybe inaccurate payment history. And these are all the things that you want to add to a dispute letter when you're just deciding to dispute your this particular collection account on your credit report. So consider all those things. Make sure you review what is on the report. If you look at the screen, we are looking at the dates. For example, where it says date open, two different dates. That could be something that we can attack on this report. Down below, you see the original creditor, Capital One, payment status, collection charge off, creditor remarks. Just look at all these things on the report, and we're just looking for discrepancies. Now, also learn the law. So you can Google the law in reference to the Fair Credit Reporting Act. There are several sections and codes that refer to how collection agencies and furnishers of information can furnish information on your consumer report. One such law, 15 USC 1692C. This U.S. law says if a consumer notifies a debt collector in writing that they refuse to pay a debt, the collector must cease all communications with the consumer. Also, Fair Credit Reporting Act, 15 USC Code 1681C. Information that is inaccurate, outdated, or unverified must not be included on a consumer report. So take that into account when putting a dispute letter together to send off to the collection agency and to the credit bureaus. Make sure those laws are included in your dispute letter. Make sure that you dispute all those different points I just spoke on. Let's move on. And remember one thing, once you do send this letter out to the collection agency to cease and desist any type of communication and that you're not going to pay this debt, remember if they continue after that, you put them on notice to report your information to a consumer agency or credit bureau. that's considered communication. So if you've already stated in your letter previously that you want them to cease and desist, and you no longer want them reporting any information to the credit bureaus about this particular account, or that it doesn't belong to you, whatever the case may be, if they continue to do so, they're in direct violation of the law, where it says, where you requested that they cease and desist. All right, let's move on to step number 5. After you sent off your dispute letters to the credit reporting agencies and the creditor, you're going to wait that 30-day period to see if you get a response. If there is no response, then the next step would be to send your dispute to the Consumer Law Protection Bureau, where you can go and you can file a complaint against the credit bureaus and the collection agency because they did not respond to your letter, and that this information and collection account does not belong to you. Once you submit that complaint, make sure you add all the details, make sure you add the description of what's going on, the information that you sent out, the desired result that you want. And once you submit that complaint, you'll wait for results from the CFPB. So at that point, it'll give them time to process your complaint, and normally it should be successful. And when successful, it should be a remark that says, collection company has marked your account as cease and desist, and the company has submitted a deletion request of the trade line from your credit report. And at that point, that's pretty much it. The collection account should be removed.